What's up? My name is Jordan, and I'm going to show you how to shoot a slingshot today. I'm going to be using our Scout X. If you don't have the same slingshot, it's not a big deal. The same rules will apply. Scout X is one of our newer flagship models, but this is one of my favorites. When you're learning how to shoot a slingshot, I think one of the most important things that you should start with is learning your eye dominance. And what that means is which eye you instinctively want to use to sight down to your target. And the way that we can sort of gauge what our eye dominance is to use this little test where we make a small circle with our hands and then pick an object in the distance to look at through that circle. So basically you're just trying to see which eye is looking through the circle, and you can do that by staring at that object with your hands directly out in front of you and then closing each individual eye, and one of your eyes will see the object and the other one won't, and whichever eye sees the object that's open, that's the eye that you're going to use for your dominant eye. For me, it's my right eye. And that means that when I shoot a slingshot, because I'm right eye dominant, I want to hold the slingshot in my left hand. That's important because when we shoot, we're going to draw back our other hand to underneath our dominant eye, and that's going to help us aim a little bit better. All right, the second thing we're going to go over today is grip styles. Typically we use 3 different grip styles. The first one being the hammer grip. The hammer grip is going to be a really common way for people to start shooting a slingshot. And this is a pretty comfortable frame to use in the hammer grip. The second grip style is called a pinch grip, where your hand is wrapped all the way around the forks, all the way up near the top. This is a little bit more stable grip, but it's basically a modified hammer grip. Your hand is just closer to the fork tips. The third style is what we call a brace grip, and that's where your thumb is going to be braced up against the frame and your forefinger is going to wrap around. This tends to be the most popular style that modern slingshot shooters use. The next thing that we want to go over is how to hold the slingshot in relation to your target. What you're going to want to do with most modern slingshots is hold side on. The reason that we hold it side on is because when we draw the bands back underneath our dominant eye, the bands are going to create a straight line from our dominant eye to the corner of the fork tip. We mostly use that corner as our aiming reference. Now on the Scout X, you're going to see there's a fiber optic pin on the corner. I'm going to use that really bright pin as my aiming reference. The next part that we're going to go over is how to hold the pouch. This is a really important part. It's going to help with your accuracy in a big way. When you hold the pouch, you want the pouch to be very, very even. There's knots where the bands are tied to the pouch, and you'll notice that they're really, really close to each other, and they should be. They should be very even and equidistant from the forks. If you adjust like this, that's going to throw your shot off quite a bit. So you always want to make sure that the knots are even. When you pinch the ball in the pouch, you also want to pinch the ball at the center of the pouch. There's some center holes in the pouch to make that a lot easier. For the next step, I'm going to show you how to load the ammo into the pouch. So when you load the ammo into the pouch, you want the bands to hang with the pouch like a swing. And you're going to put the target side of the slingshot, the side that says simple shot, always wear eye protection, that's going to face the sky. It's going to point straight up. Then you're going to take your ammo and put it right in that center hole in the pouch, pinch it off, and then switch your fingers. And when you hold it, you want to hold it without the pouch touching itself, if possible. The knots are really even, and again, they're equidistant from the forks. The next step is going to be your anchor point. Now your anchor point is some point in relation to your body where you're going to draw your ammo out to. It can vary from person to person. But for me, I like to use right underneath my cheek with my thumb. This is my anchor point right here. When your anchor point is set, you're going to be able to reliably repeat your shot. And it's also really important that when you find your anchor point that your elbow is up and nice and straight in relation to the bands, because that's going to help ensure that you get a clean release. So the last step is going to be steady frame hand and smooth release. When you draw out your slingshot bands, you might have a tendency to shake a little bit. After you've practiced enough, that's going to go away. When I say smooth release, I mean you want the pouch to just sort of slip out of your fingers without you thinking about it or jerking too much when you release. Kind of like that. So now, when you aim your slingshot, you're going to sight straight down the band from your dominant eye to the end of the fork tip. And then you're going to release the band right when your fork tip is on your target, keeping everything steady and secure. And again, just let the ball just slip right out of your fingers. So the last step is putting it all together. We're going to start by putting on our lanyard for safety reasons, of course. And then you're going to hold your slingshot out, load your pouch, and then you're going to draw back your bands underneath your dominant eye and sight right down the bands. The ball is going to travel down that line. Wherever the bands are pointing, that's where the ammo is going to go. And then once you get it on target, your corner, your fork tip, or your fiber optic bead, whatever your reference point is going to be pointed directly at your target. And then you're just going to allow yourself to release nice and smoothly. It should look something like this. All right, just a quick recap. So first, you're going to find your eye dominance. Use the eye test that we showed to pick which eye you're going to be dominant with. The next thing you're going to do is figure out how you want to hold the frame. You're going to hold on to it sideways. Load your ammo in the pouch. Make sure that your pouch is pinched properly. You're going to draw back to your anchor point. Sight down the bands to your reference point. And then you're going to have a steady hand and a smooth release. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was helpful. And remember, if you need any help with your slingshots, we're here for you. Get out there and go have some fun.